again, and welcome to part 2 of Fairy Loot January unboxing. I know, it's March, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into the review of Caraval, the book that was this month, and then I'll go on about everything else. But first, I must apologise, because my review for this book isn't going to be the best. I was swinging in and out of depression lately. I was reading it a lot just to read it, so there were days where I really enjoyed it and days where I just didn't really care. And also, I usually read books within like 2 days at the most, and then when I review them, everything's still fresh in my mind. So yes, I'm sorry that my review isn't going to be the best it could be. I'm definitely going to reread the book when I'm feeling better, because it consists of everything that I enjoy. So I should love it. I should. And I know that if I was feeling better, I would. Oh, and do you like my outfit? I dressed up in my... Well, okay, so it's not my Caraval finest. My Caraval finest would probably be... Why can't I say those words anymore? My Caraval finest would probably actually look something more like this photo, hopefully, from Halloween a couple of years ago. But this is just what I can get dressed into. Right, so, summary of the book Caraval. Caraval. I don't know, I'm not American. I've been pronouncing it Caraval. I don't know. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Little bit ruined because I lost the handy dandy pouch that it came, and this thing has been with me in my big bag to uni. It's been with me to a different country. This poor thing, it's been through stuff. It's a bit ruffled and scrumpled. Caraval is the first book in the series. The main character is Scarlet, and it's about her and her sister Donatella, or Tella, who I think will be the main character in the second book, but that's just me guessing. They live on the conquered Isle of Trisda. They live on the conquered Isle of Trisda. That I think their father is a sort of runs. I don't really know the count. And he's really abusive towards them, and both of them just really want to leave the island. So Caraval itself is like a circusy game, performance, show type of thing, and Tella has been writing to Master Legend, the person who hosts the game thing, Caraval, every year for a while, and he doesn't respond until one day she writes to say goodbye. And he responds with 3 tickets for her, her sister, and this fiancé that she's in an arranged marriage to, in the hopes that he will get her and her sister off the island and away from her dad. So the girls end up on Isla de los Sueños, where Caraval is now permanently hosted, with the help of Julian, a sailor boy that Tella was kind of like, boy, with. So now they're on this island, and Scarlet, I keep saying Scarlet instead of Tella. Tella goes missing, and the objective of the whole game of Caraval is to find Tella for everyone. Now everyone has 5 days, but Scarlet only has 2, because she needs to get back in time to marry her fiancé. And also Julian decides to tag along. So he is like the... He's like the secondary main character, because you spend more time with him than you do Tella, but also the book isn't about him. Oh, also Caraval, it's really exclusive. Like the tickets are like, whoa, really hard to come by, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's this amazing place. Definitely should have mentioned that to get summary. So this video, I've decided this review is going to be non-spoilery, but may accidentally spoil some things for you. So, be warned. Okay? Alright. Oh, losing balance. Positives first. Okay, I really enjoyed the writing of the book, because usually when there's a book that's about this mysterious magical place and everything's meant to be make you question what's real or not. Usually when there's a book that's got something like that, you kind of end up feeling a little bit disconnected from your characters or the actual story that's happening because there's so much focus on that. I mean, for some, for some books and for some people that's fine, but I really like having more of the characters feeling like they are characters and people and performers, and they have goals and everything like that. They aren't just there to feel whimsical, I really appreciate that about a book. So it was really good writing for that reason. It balanced the creative flower description writing well with story writing. It was also really well paced. It took me until they actually reached the island where Caraval is at to really get into the book, really, it took me maybe sort of 3 chapters to actually really get into it and be like, okay, now we're going. So, but that beginning bit didn't last very long, so that, not a big problem. Overall it's very good, very well paced. There's very rarely a chance where you feel like you're lingering in a situation, in something, and it's always twisting and turning, because that's something else. Stephanie Garber has tried to make you, the reader, feel like a player of the game, and that was I think she did that really well. Actually, I think it was fun, and it was. Yeah, I really liked it, because you can't help but guess what's going to happen next. So, like when you're watching a crime show and you go, right, that's the murderer, and then, then they start interviewing that person who you suspected, but you're like, no, we've still got half the show left, it isn't this person. That kept happening constantly, so I really like that. I'm not always trying to actively go, what's going to happen next, but you can't help but sort of go, oh, I know where that's going. And then it does, but then it doesn't, but then it does, and then it doesn't, and then it does, and then something else. And that was quite enjoyable. I think I would have enjoyed that more had I been feeling better. I mean, I know, what's happened to my little bow? And yeah, I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with the writing itself for the descriptions. So, like the similes and the metaphors, and it didn't make a lot of logical sense. But I think I liked that. You need writing that doesn't make logical sense to really make you feel and picture and get what the author is experiencing. And the author Nilini Singh does something similar, and especially regarding scent, and I really like it. I do. And this character Scarlet, felt in colours, which was really interesting to read. And somehow we all know what we can all feel the purple she's feeling and know exactly it. I like that the author doesn't limit herself to logic when she's trying to describe something, because anyone with a good imagination knows exactly what the character is thinking and feeling and experiencing. So I think it's a positive. Yeah, I do. Other thing that was quite well balanced was the romance in it. There is a romance in this book, but it doesn't feel like it's tacked along there just because it's a young adult book. And it doesn't feel like the romance is in the way of the story. It doesn't feel like the story is in the way of the romance. It's like the two happen because of each other, and they would happen despite each other. It's so hard to describe and explain, but if you're someone who sort of has a lot of problems with the way romances are written in young adult books, I think you probably wouldn't have a problem. Oh, it's so hard. I'm so bad at reviewing. What's the way of putting it? Okay, I give up on trying to explain that how I liked it. I will say that there are a couple of people I saw on Goodreads who didn't like that there were a couple of times where Scarlet. I did see that there were a couple of people who didn't like. There were a few times, like 2 times, that Scarlet was not desperately looking for her sister because of distraction of boys, and I think the book dealt with that really well. I think that's quite a realistic thing. I mean, Scarlet loves her sister Teller, like really loves her, like, and is so overprotective of her, and Teller is Scarlet's world. And then she encounters a place where there's magic and everything, and everything's in her way, and she could get so easily swept up by it. And there are 2 cute boys that she kind of momentarily, like barely even goes, "Ooh, maybe I would like to go on a date with this person," or not, like that. There's barely a moment where Scarlet's like, "Ooh, boys," and when she does, she feels guilty immediately after, which I think is great for the characters, and also, how do I say this? Let me check it's still recording. I need my chalk. Part 2. Yeah, I like that the character had these moments because it added to her character of feeling a bit guilt. I think it's realistic of people. I don't, when they suddenly come across these people that they like, and I thought the way it was done was really nice, and even if she didn't feel guilty, I still would have completely excused her for it. But that she did feel guilty, it made the character aware. It was clear the author was aware and the story is aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, outside of what's happening within the book, it shows that the author. I don't know. It's so hard to show. How do people do this all the time? Like, professionally and in a way that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, actually that reminds me, the things I like about Scarlet, I thought she was an incredibly likeable character. I hated her at first because of the flaws that she has to overcome throughout the book were very prevalent. They were very there. Prevalent. How is a word said? The opposite of the word absent. Yes, that one. They were very there throughout, like on every page, every other sentence for the first couple of chapters, which really got on my nerves. But I really liked how she worked through that throughout the book. I liked I loved the love she felt for her sister. Actually, okay. Yeah, I liked how determined she was. I liked how she was friendly, but I also liked how smart she was and how cautious. But I really liked her and appreciated her as a character. She wasn't the kick-ass heroine that you might associate with those traits. Like, she wasn't a brilliant fighter or anything, but she was still a kick-ass heroine. She just couldn't physically fight. Yeah. I can't describe or explain anything. I'm so sorry. Okay. Actually, that reminds me, I really like the sisterly love between Teller and Scarlet. At first you think that the relationship might be something different, and you could easily see where how it could be a one-sided love and one-sided relationship. And the 2 sisters are very different, and I think they feel for each other a lot. They love each other a lot, but they show it and express it in different ways and depending on their own traits. And it was a really nice, well done relationship. I liked that Teller was sexually open. I liked that she liked boys, and it wasn't vilified within the book itself, but it was vilified by our main character Scarlet. But from the moments we see of Tella, getting a little bit spoilery here, when we hear her sort of see her when we hear her perspective on it, it's clear that it isn't the author or the book vilifying it, it's just a difference of opinion. And I think that's really good to have. I mean, I feel, you know, there are a lot of books that have main characters that have, I want to say wrong opinions, but not the best opinions in, you know, in terms of, I don't know, equal rights, feminism, all that sort of thing. And it feels like it's just the author channeling those views through the main character. And then their excuse, if they were questioned on it, is, it's not me that's sexist, it's the character. And you kind of feel like you didn't get you didn't really feel like that through the book. This, it did feel like it was just a character's flaw rather than the author's, or, you know, like, yeah, I hope you get it. So I thought that was really well done. This book is really well written, it really is. I mean, it flowed well within, you know, clue to clue, leap to leap. The plot twists were really good. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. So now my negatives. I haven't got many, and I think some of them are more personal than actual problem with the book. I didn't feel like the magic was that great. There were a couple of moments where I really, you know, within the world, magic is not meant to be real, it's just meant to be illusions made to look like magic, but everyone kind of thinks, is it magic? Is it really magic? It might be magic, I don't know. I mean, he says it's not magic, but that cannot be, you know, there's that kind of feeling to it. And we as the reader are meant to feel like it is actually magic. And I didn't. I mean, it was clear when there was something that was magic and not an illusion, but it just didn't feel like it was this awe-inspiring thing to me. Again, that might be something because maybe those moments of magic was just when I was in a low mood, so it didn't have the same effect, but that's one negative for me. Oh, another is I will always hate it when a main character sees another girl flirting with or talking to or near the love interest character and calls them a slut, or in this case a tart. I hate it so much. It's a pet peeve of mine. Just because there is a pretty or too pretty girl talking to the person you like does not mean that you get to call this person an insult. Like, and even, this person is not your property. You do not get to control who they do or do not talk to, and you do not get to reduce who they do or do not talk to like to nothing. I mean, I know, come on, Rain. You're being a bit serious here. It's a book, but I think that I think these kind of books affect people, especially young adult books, and you know, when there's something like girl versus girl hatred going on in the world, everywhere you look, including the books you read, and the language is just casually thrown about, then I think it does affect things. So, yeah, I don't like that. Which, I mean, I understand there was trying to portray jealousy, but you don't need to do that without dehumanizing a person. You know? You don't need to dehumanize someone to show jealousy. And another thing, the final negative thing, is something I'm sure everyone has heard, and everyone who knows this book knows what I'm going to say, is that there are lots of criticisms about it being a rip-off of the Night Circus, and some people I've seen have compared it as well to The Forbidden Game by L.J. Smith. Now, here's the thing. Yes, those two books are similar to Caraval, especially Night Circus. I mean, you know, like, if memory serves me right, then I think the translation of the Night Circus was like Circus of Dreams in French, and the Caraval Island translates to Island of Dreams in Spanish. You know, there are a lot of similarities with the top hats and some of the colouring and just the clocks kind of things. Like, there are similarities. And lots of people have a huge issue with that, and I don't really. So it's not like it's an actual negative for me, it's just a negative for some people. I think that they're different enough and for different people enough that it's not an issue for me. And, you know, there's no such thing as a completely original book these days. The author's taking two things that she likes. I mean, not necessarily the case, but I don't actually know this, but it's like, if someone takes two things they like and they change it a bit different and change the tone and incorporate more story and less magic and whimsy, and, I don't know, change Julian from being the master to the sidekick friend, you know, like, it's not so different. It's fine. They're different things. You're incorporating it. It's not a problem for me, but it is for others. I mean, I do have problems with some books being ridiculously similar, but maybe it's me being hypocritical, but I didn't think it was that much of a negative for me. It might be for you, but if I really think that, especially if you couldn't... Wait, I'll wait till the end. So yeah, I'm just sad. Okay. Yeah, I am quite sad that I couldn't get as swept up in the book as I would have liked from just me reading it for, you know, small sections across a long period of time, and that period of time being quite a few high-low moods for me. So that's a shame. But overall, I did like the book. I did. It was really nice, and it's one that I do want to reread so I can really get the full love for it, because I do think I'd love it if I could experience everything in a better place. I would recommend the book to anyone. Now this is something that I cut out in another video, but no, I can't. I'll have to cut out of this video too. I'd recommend this book to anyone who struggled to get through Night Circus, anyone who liked Night Circus but didn't quite feel like they really truly enjoyed reading the book. I'd recommend it to someone who likes to see well done young adult books. I think if you've had enough of the cliches and feeling like you never like the main character, then I think you really like this one. I think it's a solid book. It's a true, like, it's like a yes book. There's, you know, yeah. It's like a lot of issues you might have with normal young adult books that you don't even mention or bother thinking about anymore is absent in this book. So, what am I doing adjusting this? I've been all day. Okay. So, what has happened to my bow?